You gotta love the puppy dogs, don't you? Loyalty is our theme today, and I'll have Darren talk about that in just a moment. But I wanted to say welcome to you wherever it is in the world you are from. It's the morning, it's the evening, afternoon, wherever. This is our Sunday gathering number 201. It's really hard to believe that we came together so long ago, and we are an international sensation, joining the two worlds. Not that we need to, because your loved ones in the unseen world are with you and they live on, and we'll get to more of that a little bit further on. But I first just want to say thank you to the wonderful gentlemen that I'm sharing the Sunday gathering with today. It is certainly a treat. Of course, Darren has been with us since the start, and Scott Milligan also started this with us. And of course, we've continued our classes together and demonstrations online. Just two of my very closest friends, and not too far behind, really close to my heart as well, is the wonderful Chris Jacobs. He and I met, we're thinking about what, 5 or 6 years ago back in Cobra Hill. And he is a medium, he's a teacher, and he's the author of the book, A Life Far from Ordinary, My Life with Spirit. So I couldn't be happier to be with these gentlemen today. Our friends Carrie and Phil are down with some of you in Miami, and you'll see a demonstration with them tonight down in Florida. So without further ado, welcome. Let me pass it over to Darren.
Hello, Sandra and everyone, and thank you for that wonderful intro, Sandra. Yes, I've been lucky enough to be picked as chair for this week, which means I get to pick the music and the theme and decide who does what. And it's been an absolute honour and privilege. I did pick the songs at the beginning, two Disney songs, which I've seen some of you seem to appreciate, so thank you for that. I think we appreciate them too. They're very uplifting. Many of you may have gathered today's theme is loyalty. I don't know about you, but as you get older, loyalty seems to mean more to me personally. And you seem to experience more of it or less of it. You know, whether you're an employee for a big corporation, you get to see their loyalty. Sometimes as a consumer to big corporations, you get to see their loyalty to you, or not, maybe as the case may be, as a consumer. And we've also got loyalty with family and friends, you know, and I'm sure as many of you get older, you see the lack of it or the growth of it. And you've also got the loyalty to the spirit world, which, you know, we're looking at Miss Loyalty herself, Sandra. You know, she's been on all 201 episodes without fail. And when me and Sandra set this Sunday gathering up, what, 4 years ago now, I think it was, um, we tried to kind of do it as loyalty to the spirit world. You know, we'd experienced many services, demonstrations, if you call them, where there was no loyalty to the spirit world. There was no authenticity or genuineness to it. And we wanted to create something that would express that. And, you know, we try to be as loyal as we can. So absolutely, there's loyalty to the spirit world. And I believe each and every person here in front of us today shows that commitment, that loyalty to the spirit world. So today we have Sandra, our hostess with the mostest, Miss Loyalty herself, who will be doing all the behind the scenes stuff. And we'll also be doing our reading today and leading us into our healing. And we've got the gentleman sat next to me, Mr. Scott Milligan, who will be doing our opening prayer and our address for us today. We have the wonderful and lovely Chris Jacobs, who's underneath me on the screen, who will be doing our demonstration of mediumship for us today, which we're absolutely privileged to be part of. And then you have myself, who's picked the music and the theme, and I'll be doing the closing words and the closing prayer. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Mr. Milligan.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this time that we share with one another. But it's been asked of me to knock on the invisible door of our friends and helpers and loved ones. So, in your own way, will you join me by sharing the same breath as we beat that love to the spirit world? Dearest divine and infinite spirit, the power of all life, for once again we stand in the invisible temple that these earthly hands have not built. May we bow humbly and find the strength to climb the steps to the altar of peace. May we come together as one, even though that we live in different places, we speak in different ways, but we are one in the light of your world. As the sun does not discriminate who it shines for, neither do your thoughts that shine for us all. So as we walk this day in this path, may the healing balm, may the loving truth echo through us all. As we sit as one, take what is needed and share what you must, so that we sweep this path and bring back that love that some may have forgotten, some may desire at this moment. So may the messages of love and hope go to where it's needed most. For as we sit in the grace and love of your world. Amen.
Thank you so much, Scott. You have me for the reading today. When I think about loyalty, I think about my aunt's cat, Harry. My aunt adopted this stray cat almost 10 years ago. She took him in out of the cold, and while he spent the first 4 months or so hiding in her bedroom closet and only came out at night to eat, eventually he felt the unconditional love and loyalty of my Auntie Donna. He follows her everywhere. He snuggles with her on the couch and even follows her into her bedroom when it's time to go to bed at night. Even when she walks around the house, Harry is right there by her ankles. And I'm not kidding, even his litter box is in the bathroom. So when she goes, he goes. She saved him and he is loyal to her. But he's also saved her, of course, providing that unconditional love that only an animal can give. They're certainly loyal to each other. When we think about loyalty to others, I'm sure we can all feel that we are loyal to those people that are close to us in life, to family and friends. But for my reading today, I want us all to be pretty honest with ourselves. How loyal are we to ourselves? There's a question, right? After all, shouldn't we have self-love and be our own best friend? William Shakespeare said in his play Hamlet, "This above all, to thine own self be true." So I'd like to read now some tips for all of us to be loyal to our special selves. Number one, when you're loyal to yourself, you take the time to get to know yourself. Usually we're great at knowing the people around us. We know their likes and their dislikes and what brings them joy. But be honest, how often do we give that a priority to ourselves? Being loyal to yourself means that you not only know what makes you happy, but you actually make sure that you get enough of it to feel happy. I know we don't all do that, do we? So, number two, like yourself. We are often so much harder on ourselves than we would be to anyone else. Do you take the time to listen to how you talk to yourself? Do you encourage and congratulate yourself? Or do you berate yourself and say negative words to yourself? Would you ever dream of talking to a child the way that you talk to yourself sometimes? Being loyal to yourself means treating yourself gently, being kind, forgiving, and generous. Seeing the good and not just what we wish was different about ourselves. Number three, you honor your own feelings. Again, we are usually overly sensitive to others' feelings and only too ready to deny or minimize our own feelings. It's possible to honor your feelings without either acting them out inappropriately or wallowing in them. It simply means that you are willing to pay attention to them and to let them matter to you at least as much as everyone else's feelings. There's something very appealing about people who are simply honest and straightforward with their feelings. Others feel relaxed and at ease around them because they can trust that there are no hidden agendas to figure out. This honesty also allows you to be a more authentic version of yourself. When you aren't worrying so much about how others see you, you can show them who you really are. And you know what? Not everyone will love you. It's true. But those who do will be loving the real you, not the one you made up for public consumption. Personally, me, yeah, it took me most of my life to be okay with who I am and show the world the true Sandra. Really, I always thought I had to be somebody better, but these days I let my own light shine. I can honestly say now I am a 100% expert in being Sandra. I don't need to be anyone else. And there's so much freedom in just being me. And I can say the same thing about you. You know it, you're an expert in being you. Feel the freedom of showing the authentic self that you are to the world. And here's the best part. You give other people permission to be loyal to themselves as well. This makes the world a better place for all of us. The authentic self that you show the world calls out to the other authentic selves in the people around you. This is truly what we're born for. Relationships formed between two people who are really, truly, and openly being their authentic selves. This kind of relationship will blow the socks off any other kind of relationship you've ever had in the past. And, we show other people how we want to be treated by how we treat ourselves. When you're loyal to yourself, when you know and like yourself, honor your own feelings, and show up in an authentic way, it only makes you better able to love others as well. Self-loyalty, self-love, self-honesty are necessary ingredients for love and honesty in any relationship. And just like Shakespeare wrote, you can't be false to others when you remain true to yourself. So ask these questions to yourself frequently. Is this what I really want? How do I really feel about this situation? It is okay to choose to prioritize a loved one's needs at times, but it will be a freely made choice, not an obligation. We will make better decisions based on who we really are. We will feel happier and more at peace with ourselves and the world, all because we have chosen to be loyal to ourselves. How's that sound? You guys up for it? Starting with you, being loyal to you? I hope so. So thank you for listening to my reading. As we go into our healing, we can start off by just taking a moment to think of the people, the places, maybe our critters that need some healing. We always have a lovely song for our healing, and this one is no different. It's a very familiar tune written in 1991 by Bryan Adams, but it is sung today by Dana Winner. It's called Everything I Do It For You. I firmly believe, and I hear this often in our classes with Scott, that those in the unseen world can use our energy and direct it to where it's needed in the world. These lyrics to this song, I'd like you to just tie in with the reading that I just gave you. Everything I do it for you. If we can feel good, those feel good bits of energy can be used for healing. And I just ask that during this song, that you aren't hard on yourself, that you just look back and you think of all those things that make you different, that make you lovely, make you one of a kind, that make you special. Life hasn't been easy and we know it, but you have overcome a whole lot. And there's so much about you to be grateful for. So instead of thinking what's undone, think of what has been done and have a little of that self-loyalty for yourself. So let me play the song with you and then we will be back. Next person you'll hear from will be Scott with our address. Hold on, let me find that. Click a little here.
Wow. That brought back memories, but it also brought us together, didn't it? That we can think of those words and we think of those who have gone before us. Ordinarily, philosophy comes from a form of inspiration, but I suppose as I speak to you, I would like to talk of a story of a friend of mine who no longer stands physically here, but works in the spirit world. This gentleman was John Austin, and John, like all of us here, came into this movement through a passing of someone who he loved dearly. His son transitioned from this world to the next through an accident on a train where almost 100 people passed. And in his moments of grief and desperation, he turned to the idea of where do we go after death? He found a book called The Edge of the Etheric, written by Arthur Finlay, which set him on a quest of seeing, is it possible to go to the invisible world and to create a power so that his son can return and speak with him? And for 40 years, he sat with his wife, day in, day out, week in, week out, and knocking on the invisible door and asking if his son was there, can he show that he can hear, see, and feel that love? 40 years passed, and they were loyal to the cause. And through that time, his son was able to make his presence known. And over the passing of that contact, they built the story of Howard's life. But unknown to them, that they set in motion the development of mediumship that made the so-called dead be as solid as you and I, through the gift of physical mediumship, that Howard, his son, found a voice and was able to talk to his father, embrace his mother, and give the absolute proof of life after living. You and I are here today, and I call you friend. The sadness of this story is that many of you have felt that pain of death. I wish we could meet under other circumstances, but sadly we are gathered here. At the start of this gathering, we saw scenes of Disney, which was appropriate really, because it was in the line at Disney World when Darren and Sandra turned to each other and said, enough is enough, and we will do what we feel is right for the greater good, and created a seed called the Sunday Gathering. And from that, we started the work, bringing us together on this special day, knowing now that death is a lie. Death is but a bend in the road or a turning of a page. That you and I are lucky that we know there is something between us. There is something there where all that we have loved goes to. Now there are many here now listening to these words, but in a moment someone will stand and lend their voice to the voiceless. Not all of us are going to get messages, but all of us can play a part in the celebration that the message that goes to the greatest need, that we are loyal to the great power. And through the lips of all who are present now, there will be no lie. It will only be the truth. The seed that falls must be loyal to the earth. No matter how high the tree grows, it returns back to the root. Friendships which were formed and go their separate ways may have a chance meeting, in years that have passed. And straight away, the conversation carries on like nothing has happened in between. Friendship is built on loyalty. Good deeds, good acts, success is built on loyalty. Loyalty to those who got you there, and loyalty to those who are yet to come. In 1848, the unseen world had an opportunity of creating knocks upon a door. And through that great course that you and I sit via Zoom, holding hands with each other, even though that time is different, we are all here now. Behind us all is the mighty force of the Spirit, because even though they have lived their life, this world has passed to them, but we have inherited where they have stood. So they do not let go. They come and remind you and I that death has not taken, and your loved one stands with you, for you, and speaks about you in the spirit world, and try wherever they can to plant seeds, seeds that grow of signs. So where do you go from this moment? Will these words fade like stars in the morning sun, and for you yourself continue to investigate, even though the days may be long and the nights are even longer, when you are in grief? Know that your loved one stands with you, for you have not let go, and neither will they let go of you. The sadness of this story is that we must continue to face the day. But wrapped within your thoughts and within that fragrance of your love is the promise that you have made, that I will live with you and you live with me. I cannot tell you how much the other world love you. I cannot fully say through the common words how much your loved ones are calling back now. As we sit in the invisible circle, that your loved ones stand with you. This is 201, and I wonder in that 201 how many voices have shared their stories. I wonder how many times we have made mistakes by listening to their voices. And when we hear a no, or we hear a yes, we celebrate that great power. For it isn't the medium that's done good work, it's your loved one who is able to hold the person and make them the pane of glass for the light to shine through. The sun made a promise to you that will rise. It may be hidden by the storm, but that too shall pass. The night may be dark, but the sun reflects its light upon the stars. The path may be hidden, but underneath it softens the ground of your being. So these words may not follow the theme loyalty, but echoed through it is my loyal and thoughts for the unseen, for your family, but also to all of you. For we all feel the pain of grief because we have known love and continue to know love. Believe or not believe these words, but may I say to all of you that you are held in the hands of eternity, and those who you have loved, who may be called that have died, lost, passed, or gone to heaven. These are words that we use to express where our loved one has gone. But may I say this, that your loved one stands with you. They are like your shadow. Sometimes it can be seen, sometimes it can be known, but not all the time you hear them back. But through the songs that play, through the stories that are told, they try to get their signs to you all. Listening this week to how Darren chose the songs, I knew that there was power there. I knew there was thoughts there, because he lays the table like Sandra, so that we can all sit and be in the company of eternity. So loyalty is what they bring to the table, week in, week out, along with love. So as these words soften and be no more, I hand it back to the Sunday gathering, where humble seeds make mighty trees. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott. Oh, beautiful words. And although we can't give a round of applause that's heard, you guys can always feel free to press your raise hand button as an acknowledgement of the words. So thank you so much, Scott. And I feel a little bad going in thinking, oh, I've been here 4 years, haven't missed a Sunday. And I thought maybe this afternoon, this morning, tonight, whenever you hold your next glass in your hand or cup of tea or coffee or something a little stronger, that we raise that glass to Mr. John Austin, his wife Geraldine, and son Howard. 40 years. I am looking forward, I'll be a little older, I think, 40 years from now, but to give so unconditionally and being so loyal to the spirit world. And John, I know you're listening. Through you and through developing your home circle, inviting the wonderful Colin Fry in to be your medium, and then this young teenager named Scott Milligan, who we all know and love today. It was on my journey of learning about physical mediumship that I met Darren, met Scott, met Chris. So John, your light shines bright through all of us. And ladies and gentlemen, you never know what you do and how it can have that ripple effect on many. So with that, we're going to go now into our demonstration of mediumship. And we have wonderful Chris here with us today. And he's been a long time medium and tutor and just a wonderful human being. I want to tell you a little bit about how it goes today, and then we'll hear a song just before we start our demonstration. I know many of you, this is your first Sunday gathering, and there's been folks along the whole way with us. So wherever you are, please know that today we have Chris, Scott, Darren, and myself. We are just 4 living representatives that are on your Zoom screen today. And we'll get some representatives from the spirit world. They represent all of our loved ones, just as we represent you today. So I know very often we have those prayers that our loved one comes through. And we never know how the spirit world works, and they have it all organized, who's going to talk, just like Darren picked our order of service. They've probably picked who the folks are coming through. My request for you is, even if your loved one doesn't come through, because we just get a handful of loved ones, they step forward on behalf of all of our loved ones. So feel that love, feel how close they really are. If those messages fit for you, take them towards you. And also have that loving thought in your heart. May the reading go to the person with the greatest need. So often, we all do this on social media. We put all the smiles and all those happy things, but behind them, there are tears, there's grief, and there's a lot of pain. So we never know what's going on for another life. And I know there's been people here that have had readings. Oh my gosh, Scott mentioned how many loved ones have come through. It's been at least 800, at least, for our Sunday gathering, I would think. And every voice is unique. Some people have been with us since the beginning of the Sunday gathering, and your loved ones have never come through. But believe me, they've been by your side, and they're helping give their power from the spirit side of things. So as we go today, when you hear when you hear Chris begin his reading, he'll usually give a few initial bits of information about the spirit person who's presented themselves to him. And they'll use everything Chris has got. They'll use his own thoughts and his memories and feelings and who knows what else. And he'll do his best to get to the right person. But if you understand all the information about the person he's describing as your loved one, now they no longer walk this earth, they are in the spirit world, but it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be somebody you worked with, could be somebody distant. But if you can understand all the information that Chris has said about this person, we want you to press your raise hand button. And this is a good time, if you didn't press it earlier, to find the raise hand button on your device. See how it works. Press it a couple times. It'll go from raise hand to lower hand, raise hand to lower hand. Why this is important is sometimes there's more than one person that can understand all the information. So Chris will continue to work so we get down to just one person with their hand raised. And we have close to 200 people with us on our Sunday gathering today. So please just raise your hand if you can understand all the information. What else do I need to tell you? If you are someone who works with Chris today, I will press a button on my side. You'll get a little flash on your screen. Host would like you to unmute. There'll be a button that shows up. We do like to hear your voice. Your camera will not be on. Don't worry about that, but we do like to hear your voice. And when you work with a medium, whether it's Chris or any other medium, do your best to just say yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they give. Far too often right now on planet Earth, mediums are asking you to supply the details or saying your grandmother's here. What was her name? None of that. Let the medium do the work. That's where the gold is in a demonstration, to know that the medium's really working with your loved one. And then we could all have that benefit of knowing how close the relationship is. So just yes, no, or I don't know. And I don't think there's anything else to say. If there is, we'll figure it out later. We do like to play a good, feel-good piece of music before we continue. This is a beautiful song called Unconditionally, and it's all about love and that unconditional love. So if you want to feel that for yourself, invite in, not that you have to, your loved ones in the spirit world. No doubt they are right next to you, shoulder to shoulder. They love being here, part of the Sunday gathering too. So let's listen to that piece of music, and then we will be right back with Chris. Beautiful song, beautiful song. Chris, warm welcome back to you being here on our Sunday gathering.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be back.
So grateful.
Okay. Welcome everybody. It's as I say, it's a privilege to be here in front of you all, and the illustrious Scott and Darren as well. Okay. As I link here with this spirit world, I have the essence of love from a young man coming here. And I know as this young man comes forward, I want to talk to Mum, please. I know as he comes forward, Mum has been a little tearful just of late with these memories of her son, of him. And I know we want to share some special times, special memories that should be around about now. That happened in these last few days or so. And as he comes forward, I've got to say what an absolute joy he was. He was so vibrant and still is. Do we have anybody, Sandra? I can't
I'm
see.
going to ask. I know we have several people with their hands raised who can understand their.
Okay, I'll leave it to you as usual.
Thank you.
As I go forward, this young man, I do know that there would have been an interest in art or pictures of some sort. I'm looking at possibly photographs as well here. Would anybody understand this, please?
So he was interested in photographs, maybe a photographer. I don't want to put the words in.
Yeah, I do see a small camera here. And I want to think, I believe he would have had 2, 3 really old cameras that he would have been given, particularly one that may have come down through the family.
All right, thank you very much. Well, we've lost all hands. We had a bunch up, but I think that the final comments on the 2 to 3 cameras and one given to the family from the family. Can anyone
Okay, if I take this back one, I'm still sticking with the cameras. And if it's not come down from the family, I know there would have been an interest of cameras coming through the family,
thank you very much.
photographic.
All right. So our friends who could understand that information, go ahead and press your raise hand button again. Interested in photography, had cameras. Kim has her hand raised. Everyone else keep on listening in. Kim, if you could find and press that unmute button, please. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, can you hear me,
Hi.
Kim?
Yes, I can.
Do you understand these cameras, please?
N- uh,
And the
it was his
photography.
mother. It was his mother who got into photography,
Okay.
and
He would have loved this, yes?
he
He would have
loved
had
having his
appreciation.
he loved having his photos taken.
Brilliant, thank you.
He was
And can
he
I
was a
say he
ham.
was a very, very vibrant young person?
Yes.
I know that he would have had, it shows me almost like an angelic smile here, an angelic face.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as I'm looking here, his hair would have been slightly wavy, or there would have been a curl, and there would have been an issue around this. I felt like somebody,
Mm.
grandmother or something, would have purposely curled his hair at times, please.
I'm not sure.
Okay, because he's showing me here that somebody's doing this with their hair,
Mhm.
and it would have been something like what we call a kiss curl, like, if you can understand that.
What about is that also considered a colic?
I have no idea what that means. Sorry.
Okay, I don't know, but uh, I'll leave it at that. But I
If
don't
you,
know,
yeah,
but
sorry,
it doesn't
it's
sound,
an
yeah,
English term that
yeah,
we use, the
yeah,
kiss curl, and if it translates into that, that would be it.
yeah.
Okay. I do feel that also there would have been an anniversary, his anniversary, not too long, either birthday or passing, please.
Yes.
Okay. And I know that there've been still tears where this is concerned.
Yes.
Okay, because he just comes very close here and he says, "Tell Mom I'm still close. I'm so close, just like I always was." And I do believe they were quite inseparable at
Uh,
times.
Um, I, I would say yes.
Okay. And here, you know, and it gives me the impression here, the whole point thing around his passing, would it make sense to you that there was touch and go, talked about touch and go here, as though it wasn't an easy, straightforward passing?
Yes.
Okay, because I do believe, if I've got this correct, it would have looked like at one point, oh, it's a possibility that something could happen, he could pull through. And then before we
Yeah.
know it, he went.
Yes.
Okay, because he talks about that there, and that
Mhm.
being, you know, a huge wrench there on the family too. Can I also say here, this young person, he just showed me that would he very good at drafts or chess? Sorry, I can't think of the name then.
I don't know.
Okay, can you check? Because I feel
I
as
will.
I want this board games. It's
Mhm.
a board game. And I do feel he had a very quick brain here too, a quick
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah.
Because he talks about this, his mind being very, very quick. He could be so a few steps ahead as
Mhm.
well,
Okay.
at any given moment than most people, because he
Mhm.
was quite an intelligent young person here.
Mhm.
I also, he wants to talk about a family memory of a lake, please, and boating,
Oh, yes.
and
Yes.
this beautiful wooden boat, and the laugh at when we tried to row and the oar just fell off. We couldn't control the oar.
I don't know that aspect, but
But you
I
would
would not be
understand the
surprised.
family holidays, please,
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
around this here. And there would
Yes.
also have to be, I know that as I am looking at this lake, it is heavily forested round it, and there would have been a campsite too.
I'm going to say yes. There's
Okay. And would you
lots
understand
of
fishing in this lake as well, please?
I know he fished
Okay. The
with,
fish he's showing me, please forgive me here. Gosh,
Mhm.
you know, there were tiddlers and there are whales, and this was a whale. It shows me really big fish here. So these were quite big, certainly bigger than I was used to.
I don't know the answer, but I would not be
Okay.
surprised.
All right. So, you know, I do know that this was a very generous soul, a very generous person, but he was also quite a reserved young man, which isn't always the case with young people, but he was quite reserved and he was a very loving person. And I don't feel as though we'd heard too many bad words from him either.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And he just wanted to pass that love on here. Could you pass this back to Mom and tell her I'm rooting for her? I am also going to be around in February. February is a special time, special moment, and I will be there to celebrate it there as well.
Oh my God. It's his mom's birthday.
Thank you. And he says, I am there. I will be there. And I know that he just
Oh
gives
my
her the biggest, he wants to give her a red rose, not just sent for love, but because she loves these flowers. And he knows that. So I'll leave you with her love, with his love, sorry,
Yes.
and say thank you very much for working me and God bless.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. Thank
As
you.
Sorry, as we move on here, sorry, Sandra, I thought you were going to say something else. As we move on here, I know that I want to bring Father through here. And as I bring Father, I want to say there was a simplicity about him. He enjoyed the simple life. I'm not saying he was simple in any shape or form because he wasn't. I do feel this was a man of many talents, but he just enjoyed the simple life here. He enjoyed just being in existence. I want to say he would also be an avid person within your welfare, playing board games with you. I do see again board games there, and I know that he would have the most dry sense of humor, and this would be, I'm laughing because I'm poking fun at people. As you know, he would have loved to have done this, and I do think around his passing here, as I'm feeling this, he tells me this was outside the home. This was outside the home. I don't, he's not quite giving me what as yet, but I just feel it was a little traumatic. I don't know if it just felt like he just um, fell. Would this make sense to somebody?
Thank you very much. All right, friends, who does this information make sense to? Please raise your hand. Okay, we have Karen with her hand raised. Chris, Karen, if you could, oh, we also have Naomi. We have
Can we
two.
just go with Karen for now? And the
Yeah.
other person, please.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, thank you.
Hello, Karen. You understand this information, yes?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You understand the love of the gentleman, but the simple life, the easygoing life.
Yes,
But he was not simple by any shape or form in his
correct.
mind.
Yes,
And I know as we're going out, I'm feeling as though I'm outside. I'm outside, and it just simply felt like a fall to him. Would you understand that?
yes.
Okay. And I'm thinking could be a possible heart attack or something. I'm not sure because it was all so quick.
Very quick.
Okay. It was, sorry for laughing. He just switched a light out, said lights out. That was
Yes,
quick. It really was. But you would understand his sense of humor in what he just said as well.
yes.
because he was very dry in it. And I know as I talk to you, this man has a wealth of love here and become very expressive with that love too.
Yes, thank you.
You know, and he just brings this beautiful broad smile here and this love, and I just feel as though he really wants to just give you that cuddle. You know, I do think he liked to have fun with you. Would that be correct?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Lots
no,
of fun. Mhm.
because I feel like I'm just trying to elicit a response from you, you know, in that fun and that fun that he would have. I do think this was a man too, as he shows me here. I'm not seeing any suits. I'm seeing shirt sleeves rolled up. He was a very casual person.
Yes, that's right.
He would be, you know, he would love to be just in his favorite shirt and sleeves rolled up, all weathers.
Yes.
You know, and because he just said rough and tough here, rough and tough, you know. Um, would you understand also a love? There would be, I feel here that I want to talk about, I'm going to call it a cabin. I don't know if that's what you call it, but would you understand a cabin or a lodge, please?
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. And I feel as though with him, he would have worked on this. Would you understand that?
Yes.
It was a labor of love, he tells me, a labor of love.
Very nice.
Okay, is that correct? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and I know that as he did it, he was a perfectionist because he tells me here, that's not right. I've got to do it again. I've got to do it again. Would that be correct too?
Yes.
You know, and as I'm looking at this, there was something, we do understand a fireplace within this lodge, somewhere there would be, you know, all I can say is a fireplace.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Okay. And I know that this had to be a special. He wanted this to be special. It was central. Would that be correct?
Yes, it was central.
It was central and it was correct and it had to be right. He wanted it to be right because he envisaged all sitting round the fire, all enjoying this fire and coming together
Yes, that's right.
because he loved his family get-togethers.
Yes, he did.
He really did. And he would, you know, he would tell everybody to be there, but it would also be noted who wasn't,
Yes.
you know. And I do get with this gentleman, he would always remember, he would often, well, sorry, he would often remember those in the spirit, those that had gone before.
Yes.
And he says, thanks, because now he knows he's remembered, he's celebrated too.
Correct.
At these times that come too. I do feel that this gentleman would have loved March. Would you understand March's memories?
No.
Okay. Would you understand the turning of the season, please?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm going to the March because that's the turning of the season for us. But he's, you know, he's coming to the turning of the season and getting excited. And I just feel as though I would almost plan out my yearly activities.
Yes, that's right.
You know, and I'd get to this turning of the season. I know I'm going to be busy. Things have to be planted, things have to be cultivated, things have to be done,
Correct.
you know, and everything was just so organized with him, you know. And I'm going to say, my gosh, especially where tools were concerned, he was very tidy, wasn't he?
Oh, yes.
You know, I have them all nicely lined up, all sharpened, and they all look gleaming like new pins. But yet I
That's
know that he'd had them for years,
yes.
you know, and he'd loved all that. And I want to talk about some of those tools still being around the family, please.
Yes, they are.
And they're still used, okay? But he
Yeah.
says here, why aren't they cleaned, you know, rigorously?
Oh, we needed to learn our habits better from him.
Okay, because he just says, not that I'm watching you, but I am, you know, just, you know, make sure you get a good oily rag on them and get them cleaned here. And you wanted to pass those memories through of that. But he also talks about, would you understand here, was there would you understand a cough or something that started quite early on as very benign, like a cough?
Yes, there was.
Okay, and it became a little more intense as time went by.
That's right.
Okay. And he was very reticent in going having it checked out,
Yes.
you know. And then he said, when I plucked up the courage, it was a little bit too late. Would that be
Correct.
correct? You
Yes.
know, and he kind of said, I accepted my fate then, but I'm sorry that I didn't check it out because I know there were family members that were quite annoyed with him
Yes, that's true.
for doing that. And he said, I'm so sorry to you all, but you know what I was? I was stubborn, and so are you.
Yes.
He, he's been very sorry. I didn't mean that to come out the way it did, but he was very direct,
Oh, yes.
you know, and it's the smile and that love he wanted to bring forward here to you. And I know he says here that, you know, the love that the family still hold, that is still central. He knows he's still a part of that family here. And I go, he wants to also here, and I feel I'm doing this significantly. I want to give you a bunch of white tulips, please.
Yes, thank you.
White tulips being very significant. Okay. You know, in that. And I know too that he says about his place of rest, where he's laid to rest, is still kept, you know, it's still kept clean, tidy, looked after.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. And I know that there are regular visits, he says, and he's very, very grateful. Okay. Can I just say before I leave you, would you understand an oversized headstone, please?
No, no.
Okay. Um, where he's laid to rest, would you understand there's like 4 or 5 in a row?
Correct.
Would you look to the right, please, next time you go? There's an oversized headstone.
All right. I'll look.
Because he just laughs here and he says, theirs is bigger than mine. And these were the things he would notice.
Yes, he would.
No, you know, I'm pointing out that, but he's just having that joke because that's his sense of humor. So I leave you with his love and say thank you very much and God bless you for working with me.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for bringing him through.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kim. And back to you, Chris. Thank you.
Okay. I know that here that I'm talking, got a lady that comes through here, and I know as she be coming to the end of her life, I know there's a lot of confusion with her. I know her mind's getting slightly muddled here. I know that also she'd been like this for a little while here, but and she says, yes, they tried to take care of me. They tried to take care of me. But I also think with this lady, that wasn't her condition that she passed with. I also want to talk about the cancer that went with that. That came a bit later after this. Sorry, the way she's got my mind all muddled, I know that my words, it feels like my words are coming out backwards in the way that or the way that I'm thinking and trying to put them. Would this make sense to anybody, please?
Thank you, Chris. All right, friends, who does this make sense to? All right. We have Emily. Emily, if you could press your unmute button, please. Hi, Emily.
Hi, hello, Chris.
Hello, Emily. You understand what has been said?
Yes.
Okay. The sense of confusion, would you understand this getting very bad, please?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And literally some words or some statements would come out almost back to front.
Yes, actually.
You know, because I was having an awful trouble there thinking whether this was dyslexia or something, but it wasn't. It was just the state of mind. Okay. But I do want to say she still had recognition. Would you understand that to be correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I know that there was this cancer as well that came on top of all this, like another layer.
Yes, it was unknown, and yeah, it was
Yeah.
like another layer that came later. Yes.
Yes, that was because you know, as I was saying this, please, you know, it's not meant the way it sounds here, but she just says, thank God, really, you know, because I do feel that even though it made this ill, it was what that took it, that was what took her.
Yes.
Okay. And there wasn't a long process with it, she says,
That's true.
you know. And so she says, thank goodness that came, and it put an end to that. And she had that release here for her, because although she was so confused, she was still with it in oh so many ways. Would you understand that too?
Yes.
No, or, you know, as we said, through the recognition. I do want to say this lady, I she wasn't at home, was she?
When she died,
I keep getting here that why can't I be home? Why can't I be home? And I do feel that this would be a few weeks probably before she passed.
yes, that's correct.
Okay. And you know, and she just couldn't understand it at that time, you know, but she understood. She says, I understand now your reasons why, because I know this was upsetting to you and to others.
Yes.
All right. And so she's, you know, she just brings that warmth and that love here back to you. Um, can I talk about, would you understand Claire, please?
Claire. No, no, I don't understand that.
Okay. I do feel as though one Claire, would you understand somebody taking care of your mother at one point, please?
No.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little. This is something. This is confusing here. Did if I take this back, before your mother passed, was she taken into a hospital or a hospice of some sort?
This was my grandmother, not my
Okay.
mother.
Not your mother.
But yes to the second question.
But she was taken into a hospital or something. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And she would be looked after.
Yes.
Okay. And would you have known that one of these ladies was called Claire?
I don't know that actually. I would have to ask someone.
Okay, can I just ask you to hold on here? Because now you've said you've changed the dynamic for me a little bit here with it being a grandmother. I do felt I was talking about mother. This would have to make sense to somebody here that it would be mother, please.
Okay. Folks, you'd have to understand all the information that Chris has just given here. And Emily, it doesn't mean your grandmother's not with you, of course. And let's bring in Barbara. Barbara, are you there?
Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
Barbara. Can you understand all this information?
Yes.
And would you understand Claire? Because she was very adamant about Claire.
My mother's name is Clara.
Clara.
We
Okay.
do.
All right. Would you also understand being taken care of, please?
She was in a hospice.
Okay. All right.
Hospital and hospice.
Okay. I know that I'm just slightly getting confused here because also I want somebody, there should be somebody else here, but I've got two people. I know I have got somebody else here that says that there should be somebody else that knew Claire as another person
Oh.
too. So, but hold on for a moment. Where's the other person?
It would be Kim. Let's see if we can have Kim's voice. Kim, can we have your voice, please? Hi,
Hello.
Kim.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi.
hi. Do you understand absolutely everything?
At the moment, yes.
Would you understand Claire? Not, it wasn't the name of the lady.
Mm.
I knew a Clara who was a good friend of mine who passed.
Okay. All right. And was Claire a little bit of a carer, please?
Could you clarify, please?
Would take care of people.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I know that I wanted Claire that would care. All right. So can I just ask you to hang on a moment? Sometimes, folks, this happens too. You know, I get two at once. Okay, and just come back and finish with Barbara first, and then I'll come back to you, Kim. So,
Thank you.
okay. So Barbara, are you there?
Yes.
Thank you. So going back to this beautiful lady here, and you said her name was Clara, was it, or Claire or something?
Clara.
Clara. Okay. That's not too far off, Claire, is it? You know, with her too, you would understand all the conditions that I talked about.
Yes.
Okay. And I would know that the cancer just went everywhere.
Not to my knowledge. Uh, at the end, I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Okay. All right. I'll take that back. That may be for Kim there. Or okay. But I know that it was a blessed relief at the end. Would that would have to make sense.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because she talks about the relief of passing, but the relief of, escaping her mind. Because this lady felt awfully trapped. Would that be correct? Would you have known that?
Yes.
Because of the frustrations that you would have known that because she would have vented those frustrations, please.
Well, in the end, it was hard to vent anything.
Okay, but I'm talking prior to that.
Yeah.
She would vent those frustrations here because what she wants to say to you, Barbara, is sorry, so sorry that I was that pain, at that time. But it was the fact that she just couldn't communicate properly.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and this was not a good thing for a lady that knew how to communicate really well, in fact.
Correct. Yes.
Because this lady was quite educated. If it wasn't, I don't think it's university standard, but she was quite educated, certainly within her mind.
Worldly, maybe.
Yes, yeah, I can accept because she could articulate.
Yes.
And be very expressive, because she was. All right. So just leave her with your love and say thank you for working with me. And if I can, thank you, Barbara, and if I can go back to Kim now.
Thank you, Chris.
Barbara, hello, Kim.
Hello.
Still there. Thank you for holding on, Kim.
Of course.
Okay. And this is Mother, yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I won't accept anybody else. All right. But I want to say very lively and very vibrant lady in her day. Can we say that, please?
Absolutely.
And she tells me here a bit of a looker in her day as well.
Yes.
And she, as she does this, she says, catch my best side. So I'm going to say she had a slight vanity about her as well.
I guess you can call it that.
Okay. I can only give you what I've gotten there, but the way she does it, and it's all in fun, in fun here. Would you understand that the cancer just went, I'm talking rampant, it just seemed to spread.
I don't know if it was actually considered cancer, but it spread fast.
Right, okay. I'll accept that because that's what I'm feeling. Sorry, then I've given it the cancer, but it's a disease, but I know it spread. Would that be correct?
Yes.
That is exactly what I wanted, is it spread, and it was fast.
Yes.
There was just no controlling this because I just feel we did something one place and before we knew it moved again.
Yes.
And we just had this thing, we couldn't keep up with that.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Would you understand also something very random here? Would you understand dominoes? Do you know what dominoes are?
I know what they are, but I don't know of a reference of dominoes with my mom.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. It just came in rampant here. But I'm going to say it was like a domino effect. What happened with her was one thing led to just knocking onto the other. It just went there and you could see the stages of her deterioration, just like dominoes being knocked down.
That is correct.
Until she went and she said she was a shadow of herself when she really went as well.
Wow.
you know, and she just said, I didn't like that, wasn't enjoyable, and it wasn't good for you to see. And she knew the pain that you were all feeling. Hello?
Okay.
All right. So I just want to leave you with her love and say thank you very much for working with me. I just feel with her, she, can I say with her, even though she knew how to articulate, there were times that she really couldn't express her gratitude and her thank and her love. She would be too overwhelmed. Would that,
Yes.
because this is how I'm feeling at the moment, as I don't know how to say it, but I feel this overwhelmed with gratitude and love for you. And I just want to pass that on to you and say thank you very much for working with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you. Oh, right. As I link into here, got a gentleman that wants to come, very urgently wants to come through, and I know I'm talking about a husband here, and this husband here seems somewhat, well, I'm going to say refined, and that's not hard for me, you know, they're certainly more refined than me. All right, and I do know there would have been appreciation of the arts. I want to talk about the classics. I'm talking about pictures, art, music. This would have to be a part of him, and I know that I want quite a well-educated man, a well-reasoned man here.
Thank you, Chris. All right, friends, if you can understand this with your husband in the spirit world, please press your raise hand button. All right, Chris, we have Joanna with her hand raised.
Okay, Joanna, can you
Hello?
hear me? Oh, hello. This,
Hello.
you would understand this, please.
Yes, I can.
Okay, and it was this appreciation of the arts. Would I'd feel like a real distinct knowledge about that.
Yes.
You know, I knew, I'm trying to think of any artists I know, and I can't think of any at the moment. That shows how educated I am. But he would know one from the other, you know, and he could, you know, he was really, he said I had a real good eye. Would that be correct?
Yes.
He did. And would you understand classic music, please? Something along the classical nature.
Yes.
And it being can I say sometimes it could be a little annoying to people because I feel I want it really loud and I'm conducting as I'm doing that,
Yes.
you know, and you know, I do think you'd all have to be patient while he got through that, you know, till his end here. But I want a joyful man. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Okay, but he also could be shall we say, he says, I was joyful, but I could be slightly annoying,
Yes.
especially when I knew it all,
Correct.
you know, because he found it quite sporting to, sorry for laughing, to what I would call shoot people down in flames or let them trip themselves up.
I understand.
You know, not in a bad way, or, you know, but in a malicious way, shall we say. But he, you know, but that was him. He would listen. And then in a way, I feel like, but didn't you just say this?
Yes.
He remembered everything. This man had a good mind and a good memory for everything here. I do feel also, I want to talk about, have we been just looking at an album, please? A photo album? It talks
Yeah.
about an album, quite a big, heavy album.
Not sure.
All right. To me, it looks a big, heavy album, and I know there would be loads and loads of photographs of him, but also of, you know, the family as well. But you know, kind of feel there was more of him than there was of the family.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Sorry, was that yes, no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. And you know, here too, I'm going to say to this gentleman about this gentleman, shall we say, I'm not sure he was deaf, but he could be deaf. Would would you understand that as well, please?
Metaphorically, maybe.
I'm so sorry, I didn't hear that.
Not really deaf. He was not deaf, no.
No, but I'm going to say like pretending to be deaf.
At times, maybe.
Yeah, as though he didn't want to hear sometimes, but this man never missed anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I, you know, it, can we talk about an anniversary that's coming up, please, as well?
Yes.
I want to talk about the next month or the month after.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Remembering the anniversary. He's remembering the anniversary here too. And I just feel here that, in his own way, he was quite a romantic, wasn't he?
Yes.
Because he says, I remember these things. I remember these things. And he would have gone and made a special thing of it, as not overtly, but he would have made a special thing about the remembering, romantic gesture.
Yes.
Okay. I do feel here too that it also has to be correct for all his smiles and for all the fun. There was this serious side to him that often people wouldn't see his pain.
Right.
Sorry, was that a no?
Correct. No, that was a yes.
No, sorry. They wouldn't see this pain that he held. It was a part of it. He says it was just my own demons. Would that be correct?
Yes.
And he battled with that for such a long, long time, and he just said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, because he knows that would have had an impact on your life too.
Yes.
All right. But he remembers the good times. He remembers the love. And I just want to pass that love to you and say thank you very much for working with me.
Thank you very much.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
Thank you so much, Joanna. And Chris, from the bottom of all of our hearts, thank you for being our medium here today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to press that raise hand button just to send Chris some love for his years of service and volunteering his time to our Sunday gathering. I can highly recommend Chris's book. It's called A Life Far from Ordinary, My Life with Spirit. It's an easy read, and it is so touching about really, you'll feel how close our loved ones really are to us. You can visit his website, which is chrisjacobsmedium.co.uk. And right on the main page of his website is a lovely interview that I did with him. So I know with some of our friends that we have on our Sunday gathering, we can never get enough of them. So there's some resources there for you too. If your loved one didn't come through today, it doesn't mean that they're not there with you. They certainly are. How they work, we never know. And of course, we all can't be on screen at the same time, and they can't all have their voice heard at the same time, but they are with us. They are so with us. They are healthy, they're well, they're alive. We are going to see them again, most definitely. I have some good news to share. I don't normally toot my own horn, but I now have just over 600 combined hours of episodes between my two podcasts, We Don't Die Radio and Shades of the Afterlife. On the most recent episode of We Don't Die Radio, just released today, it's by a beautiful mom. I'm interviewing her. Her name is Diane Calderon. Today is her son's 10-year angelversary into being in this unseen world. So we are airing it special today for that. She has the most amazing stories of signs that he has given her, both at the moment he passed and then afterwards. At the same time, she was caring for her husband, who was passing from Alzheimer's, and the words that he saw just before he passed is just something incredible. So you can go to YouTube, just look up We Don't Die Radio, and that's Diane Calderon. And my show, Shades of the Afterlife, which you have to get on your podcast app. Just look that up on your phone or your tablet. But it has become the #1 most downloaded afterlife podcast in the world. On We Don't Die Radio, I do one-on-one interviews, and on Shades of the Afterlife, there are some interviews, but most of them is me reporting in on the latest news. and so much through science and medicine. And this most recent episode that you'll find is different ways that we can communicate with our loved ones. So again, John Austin, I've got 40 years to go, or 46 plus years. But I am so committed to each and every one of you, for you to know that the afterlife is real, that your loved ones are alive and well, that we'll see them again, and most importantly, that your life here matters. It really matters. So I know, as far as Scott and Darren and Chris, will do the very same for you. Some good things coming up. First of all, on Tuesday, you can spend an hour or two with Scott Milligan. We offer what's called Sitting for the Power Hours. Beautiful opportunity to just be lulled into that quiet place in your soul through the words of Scott. That happens at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. London time. Of course, if you can't join any of these things live, you will get the replay. Also on Friday, we have a beautiful In the Arms of Eternity that happens on most Fridays with Scott, that we first sit for healing, followed by a demonstration of trance mediumship, where we have an extraordinary conversation with someone in the spirit world. And then also coming up on February 5th with Scott and also myself is his new 4-week course, Trance in the Altered States. There's 4 2-hour sessions. And even if you don't want to be a trance medium, because you know that's a lifetime commitment, it all starts somewhere, just to find that quiet place within yourself to be able to be in touch with your loved ones, those guides, those friends in the unseen world. It is one heck of a special class. We've been running it since May of 2020, and it'll be on Mondays starting the 5th of February. And then also on the 17th of February, Scott is offering a Wellness in Healing 3-hour workshop together. So if you want to join us for any of that, go to wedon'tdie.com. You can either click on the store page and find them there, or the Scott page and find them there. Also, our tutors are on the road. I know Carrie and Phil currently in Miami. They'll be in Australia, New Zealand, the States, and Canada. Also, Scott, to join him live and sit in on a beautiful retreat with medium Dominic Bogue and some other friends at different ones. In April, he'll be in New Orleans, Louisiana. And then also later in the month, he'll be in Massachusetts, Plymouth, Massachusetts, about an hour from Boston. And then in July in Brighton, England. And then in November in Barlow in the Netherlands. So you'll find that again at wedon'tdie.com. Just click on the Scott page for that. The last thing I want to say is, I know we've had some friends with us so generous to share financially. Thank you. It has made a difference over the past 4 years. It certainly has. Thank you for your donations. If you wish to donate to our Sunday gathering, just go again to wedon'tdie.com, click on the Sunday gathering page. The donation link is there. Also, the link is there to register for the next Sunday gathering. And then also, if you want to view some of the past Sunday gatherings, you'll find them there as well. So that's it for all these announcements. Thank you for being part of our Sunday gathering. I'm going to hand it over to Darren now.
Thank you, Sandra. And I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us, supporting us. And we do see all the messages coming in, but we sadly, in a short period of time, we don't have time to respond to every single one of them. But we do read all the words, I can assure you. I've been sitting here reading as they've been popping up. So we want to thank you for that. It truly does mean a lot. And it's comforting sometimes to read those words of encouragement, love. So for that, we thank you. And thank you again to Sandra, Scott, and Chris for everything you guys have done today here on this Sunday gathering. And I want to kind of finish off, you know, the theme's been loyalty this week, and loyalty comes in many different ways, shapes, and forms. But something that kind of hit true to me is what Sandra said at the beginning of her reading about being loyal to yourself. It's the one thing we never ever think of doing. But you know what? That's where loyalty grows from. If we can be true to ourselves and live to be the true individuals that we are, other things can be insignificant. You know, like I said before when I opened up, you can be an employee or consumer for a big corporation. They don't always show you loyalty. You're just a number on a bit of paper. So, but you know, that doesn't matter. We can let that go. Friendships, families, loved ones, you know, there'll be many of these people that will come in and out of your lives. But you've got to question and ask why. And I think it's as long as you're being true and loyal to who you are, these people don't want to be in part of your life because they don't agree with who you are or don't necessarily, they want you to be somebody you're not. But never ever let anyone sway you away from truly being who you are meant to be. You was put on this earth to do a duty, be a unique individual that you are. Live up to that. Be the true person that you're really meant to be. And the one thing I can give you 100% guarantee about, and I'm sure these guys around me can as well, the spirit world will always be 100% loyal and show you that 100% commitment of loyalty and love. And that's all you need to remember, guys and girls. Be loyal to yourself. Those people that are around you now, you know, friends, family, they'll love you for who you are, and that shows their true loyalty. But never forget, the spirit world will be there 110% with 100% commitment and loyalty to you. Never forget that. And I'm going to hand you over to Scott for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Darren, and thank you to everyone, and thank you to Chris. Even though he's soft in voice, there's a mighty power that pours from him. So can we just join together as one? As we turn that page once again, we thank all those who have gathered from the world we call unseen, and like drops of rain falling into the lake of awareness, may the ripples of love go out into the world. May those who seek comfort find that voice from those who they miss this day. May we continue to hold that light, even though it may flicker in the breath of others. We stand firm as a beacon of hope for all those who seek their way. May this great power bless everyone who are here and everyone who hears these words, and may it pour into the earth and pour into the hearts of many. May war come to end, and may peace have its day. May this gathering be blessed by the highest source, and show this love in the four corners of this world. And may the title of We Don't Die remain to be the umbrella in which we stand under when the storm rages around us. May we always find peace. Once again, may we thank the invisible world, and may we thank all who are present. Amen.
Thank you very much, Scott and Darren and Chris. It was lovely to be with the boys today. And you all, thank you for your kind messages as well. So for our closing song, Darren has picked a favorite, and it's done flash mob style. Here's our closing song. Oh, that was great. Great music, Darren. All right, folks, call us any Sunday. We're here, or during the week. Again, just wedon'tdie.com. Thank you for your kind messages in the chat box. And once again, Scott, Darren, and Chris, mwah, love you guys. See everybody soon. Bye.